Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome to Game Day. It is Saturday, the 3rd of May, 2025. Here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel, we are 5 hours away, 5 and a bit from the match. Carlton, Adelaide Oval, 3:45 p.m. start for those of you in South Australia, 4:15 p.m. start for those of us here in Victoria. How are we all doing? Who is here? We didn't get to watch the press conference on the team show, so we're definitely going to be doing that this morning. And we're going to go through how everyone's feeling, go through all the updates, go through the teams, talk about what's happened over the last few nights since we last spoke, and we will go from there. Who is here? I see Tom. I see Mia and Bluey. Hey, Mia, you won a pin, a Blue Abroad pin. Please get in touch with me so I can send it to you. Hello, Beef. Beef, you are ready. Chills, you are always ready. Good morning to you, my friend. Torps. Chichio Dan. Hello, mate. Good morning to you. Jay. Kane. Mate, we're well. There's a bit more excitement these days. Hopefully it keeps on running. G'day, Reese. Huge game today. Nathan, you love a pre-game sesh. So do I. I was not enjoying pre-game sessions a month ago at all. I was not enjoying any live streams a month ago at all. So I'm glad that I don't know if we're back and if it's real, if I'm being dead honest, but it's good to have some sort of hope again. Good morning, Julie. Beef, you had your Year 12 formal last night. Mate, spill the tea. What happened? Mia, hello. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Yeah, you said, can you get the pin on the video? And I replied, yes, you can. So I need you to send me a message on Instagram or Facebook or somewhere else, TikTok, so I can post it to you. Snap Alloy 33. G'day, mate. Steph Morrish, good morning. Damien, you've woken up feeling confident of a big win. Oh, I don't know. Hope so. Any win will do. Michael, good morning, mate. Yassel Jim. Mate, I see a lot of you lately, mate. Quarter time, half time, 3/4 time, any game in Melbourne. It's great. Good morning, David. Thanks for doing these at a reasonable hour. Thanks for joining the Chera Tribunal stream this week. That was great to have you there. Hello, Connor. MDR. Great to see you. Chichio Dan. Very bad vibes. 3 key outs hurt, and their 3 key forwards are scary. Yeah, we have outs. They have outs too, to be fair. But, the Crows are good at home. Maybe not as good away from home, but they're definitely good at home, to be fair to them. Ben, you are in SA. You're pumped for the game. Diana, you are also in Adelaide. Nervous, but so sick of losing to this mob at that ground. It ends today. It's one of the few, you know how last year we were ending some of the hoodoos, so to speak. This one is one we didn't get a chance to play Adelaide over there, but we did beat Port. We did lose to Adelaide at Marvel last year. Still remember it. And they just so happened to be bringing back Sam Berry this week too. Galimera, Kathy will break the curse today. Hope so. Hello, Lana. LS, you reckon we might get rolled? I'm not going to lie. I'm not fully confident of a win. I think Adelaide in Adelaide is a very tough task. And yeah, I think they play with such more confidence and vigor when they're at home. I'm not saying it's not possible, but yeah, we'll see. Mr. Mo Jorison. Cameron, you're from Adelaide. Got a good feeling. Well, there's a couple of you from Adelaide. There's quite a few of you here from Adelaide already. Good morning, Eleanor. Let's bring it home, Blue Boys. Heading out to see Safe playing Sunbury and then going to watch the game. Connor, I see you. Hello, mate. Morning, Angelo. Jim, you got us winning. A win gets us to 500 And you said after the West Coast game, get there and we'll talk about the season being alive again. All right, that's fair. John, you don't like how confident you are today. I know the feeling. Torps, you have safe to say you haven't been this excited in years to be a Blue supporter. We've got bad flashbacks earlier this season, and now we can be competitive, or at least there's hope we can be. It's a good summary. Play 4 quarters and win the game. Chills, what's my go-to game day routine when I can't make it to the ground? My game day routine, to be honest, I don't do anything specific. I mean, if we're playing on a Saturday, I wake up. I guess I go have breakfast. I like to go down to my local, get scrambled eggs on toast with avocado, Vegemite, lemon. And then I like to put the veggie, like butter, Vegemite, and then I slice up half an avocado on each slice of toast, smash it up, put some lemon, get it a little bit juicy, and then it becomes my own version of smashed avocado. Then I put the scrambled eggs on top, salt and pepper with a long black, mate. There's my game day routine. Tom, Lewis Young come in for sauce. Doc got some good touchback and put future 300 gamer Cowan back with a vengeance. Yeah, he's being slept on, Lockie Cowan. He is. I think he's ready for a big game. Oh, Fevy's playing Eleanor. Okay, I understand now. Hello, Carmela Leonello. Hey, let me put the link in the chat if anybody wants to join in. Just hit that link right there. I'd love to hear from you. We're going to watch the Vossi press conference from yesterday because we didn't get a chance to watch it on the team show. Steve, good morning. Adrian Marchioli, time to break the hoodoo. Fairly optimistic, Peter V. It'll be a close game. Sam, you're going to be at work during the game. Huge. Marty G, Torps, MCG or Telstra Dome? MCG, always. Beef, you got the drums out. After party was hectic. Now you're ready for a Blues win. Good to hear, mate. Hello, Denise. Good morning. Robbie Varley, you're here. Raymond, to win today coming off last week will show the boys are improving. Anthony, hello, mate. Kyle, lock in Dirts for 3 goals. Well, it's his return to his home state, so he knows what he's doing over there. G'day, Roger from Bundaberg. Youngie for a big one. Jack is the only out that really hurts for this one. I agree completely. Sandy, hello, mate. It would be a huge statement. And then we go to the MCG next Friday night with a very confident St Kilda. Peter Flynn, average losing margin over 3 losses to the Crows at Adelaide Oval is 43 points and change. Sheesh. Stephen Kimonidis, this is the test and the opportunity to see if we really stack up. Plenty of battles within the battle. Fascinating match, indeed. Neil, watching from a reasonable time zone today in Phuket. Sawadee Kap. It is a good. That is a great time for you. You get to enjoy the spoils of a longer evening if we win. Oh, no toasty. No toasty. If we win the granny, I will buy a toasty. Nathan, they've jumped us early in the last few games in Adelaide. Strong start will be so important. Yeah, indeed. Oh, got a guest. Hello, Connor.
Morning, Terry.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Mate, I'm always good on a game day before the ball is bounced, you know?
I can tell. I got to say, because I can tell that the day we're having is overall in the home, not feeling that it will be a good match, but you can probably tell that they probably will beat us, I think.
Well, let's be honest. The form for the Crows against the Blues in Adelaide over the last, forever, has been pretty strong. So it's going to take a pretty big 4-quarter performance for Carlton to get up today.
I can probably just tell you, I feel it can be changed, but I just can't shake it off. Trying to shake a feeling what it has me like today.
You can't shake the feeling that what, sorry?
I just can't shake the feeling and see like we don't have a stopping day.
So you think we'll get it done?
I don't know. I think we might be able to, but I'm not confident.
Okay. Well, that's fair. You got to respect the Crows up there. They're pretty good.
So yeah, I don't expect the close here. Just depends on how the cope it today. But not confident. But I'm hoping that we can push it through. But I can't tell. But to be honest.
Yeah. Well, who's your prediction for the Blues to have a really big one today?
But the things I think. I don't know, because last week, when I looked at the matches, I could tell because I saw the scripts in Charlie kicked like 3 goals. And I don't know how that sort of happened just today. I get a hard feeling that we're going to have some good goals, but not sure how the ball's going to be like because I don't know if it's going to be another 3 day.
Okay.
And I have a feeling it could be nothing wrong. That who knows what could happen when it comes around to the end of the match.
Yeah. I reckon Charlie's going to kick 5 goals today, Connor, and I reckon he's going to lead the way. He's been a bit unselfish, and I reckon he'll get the rewards for being unselfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be tell because it can be difficult, but who knows what could happen.
Well, are we going to hear from you after the game? You going to call in?
I will come in. Yes, I'll be watching. I'll be watching the game on my phone today.
Okay.
And I'll be watching it not at home, but I'll be watching on my phone. But
all right, mate.
We'll be doing to the fan cams day tonight.
All right, mate. We will see you in the fan cams, hopefully smiling again, eh?
Hopefully, yeah. But like I said, it cannot be happening. Who knows what could be happening?
All right, mate. Take care. Speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon.
Bye, mate. Love your work, Connor. Who's going to Car Keys? He always kills us. I think it's a Nick Haynes job today, or Lockie Cowan, personally. Hello, Adam. Elijah to cut sick. Let me just check. I wonder if they've changed the lineups. Oh, mate, this AFL website. So, by the way, the other night, it wasn't the AFL's fault, technically. Champion data servers were down. Could be the end of champion data as we know it. Just looking at the team. Let me get this up. I don't think anything's changed from the other night in terms of positions. Dione, the cleansing ritual has been done. The hoodoo will be gone. Love it. Jimmy, good morning. Mia, is there a tipping comp you can join? Yeah, there is. You can join the Blue Abroad tipping competition. Let me get you the link. If you are doing ESPN footy tips, it won't matter if you're coming in late because you can just, you already have your score. So what I'll do is I will put the link to the tipping comp here in the chat. BA tipping competition. There you go. Ben, you're going to have Vegemite on toast with avocado, bacon, and scrambled eggs. Love your work. DSS, you're at Adelaide right now trying to figure out Airbnb. and heading to the game. Beautiful. Can't wait to hear my reaction to a couple of things Voss said regarding system and pressure on the ball coming down. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. First thing I've noticed, without even saying anything, is that Vossi's worn the navy blue hat since after the Collingwood loss. He wore the white t-shirt the first 2 weeks. Then I reckon he might have worn the hoodie. And now he's gone with the blue polo. Trap's looking great. But the navy blue cap, let's just keep an eye on how this storyline eventuates.
Few forms changes, a test of your depth, I guess, on the road.
Yeah, well, fortunately, we've been able to get a few players in form. I think when you're in a situation where you can make decisions a little bit on form, you know you're going okay. Your list is in reasonable health, and obviously you've got form on your list. So in the most recent of times, we've got some players that have been able to find their way back into some good form and performing some good roles. So we obviously want to drive that internal competition where we can.
Where's Doc at? Is he still an important part of your group? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you play a pretty significant role for us. But like everyone, when you're searching for a bit of form and want to elevate yourself into the team, it's always sometimes to get a bit of space to be able to do that. So he's able to go back and play really well and finds himself back in the team. So won't so much divulge roles just now, but I can confirm that he will play.
How do you feel about the back line? Obviously, Jack's coming out. He's been great this year. Looking at 3 calls in Adelaide, have been really dangerous.
Yeah, they have been. At times 4 there, but yeah, they've been scoring threats, haven't they? But I just don't think it's their tools. You've got to probably look at their system a bit, and the way they've been able to flow the ball and get speed on the ball has been particularly impressive, and their smalls have been able to hit the scoreboard as well. So we'll have those individual battles, clearly, but there's going to be a system in behind it that relies on a little bit of pressure on the ball coming down. Otherwise, it's pretty clean. I think anyone's going to have a hard day if it's coming down too fast.
I feel like the group's turned a corner a bit. Don't want to speak too soon, but last few weeks.
I don't know if you can hear the question, but he asked, do you feel like the group has turned the corner?
I think it's sort of been a gradual build for us. We had some confidence early days about what we were doing. Clearly, we weren't able to execute for long enough. So, such as the competition, it asks you to play longer than a couple of quarters, and it's a pretty tight competition. And what we've been able to be is be able to play closer to our best more often. We haven't probably relied on one phase of the game, even though.
I just want to point something out in case we start losing games in the future again and people say, oh, well, why is he smiling randomly? He still does it now, if you notice. It's just the way he speaks.
Defence has been a strong point of ours. We've been able to get a few other parts of our game going as well. So that's rounded us out and certainly given us more balance and hopefully a few more challenges for the opposition to be able to take on.
He expressed his frustration at his side's ability to give up late quarter goals, red time goals. Is that an area you can look to exploit tomorrow?
The question was around Matthew Nix, who mentioned giving up red time goals. That's interesting. I might want to watch his press conference.
I don't tend to focus too much in on that because, there's a fair bit of footy that's got to happen throughout the quarter before you sort of lock down into, what the end of a quarter looks like. We're all trying to master these scenarios and we're all trying to master these, situations in games where we can limit opposition to be able to kick scores against. So we'll all have our different little challenges on that. If that's their current challenge, then hopefully we can capitalise on it. But, I think the more broader message for us is that it's going to take 4 quarters to be able to get this done. And we appreciate we're not going to have it all on our own terms. And I'm sure at some stage the crowd will join in as well. So we'll have to make sure we take care of that as well.
You asked Carlton fans and one bloke who's burnt you over the last few years, Ben Keys, when you played him, kicked, I think, 3 goals 3 times. How do you go about containing him?
He asked directly about Ben Keys. That's a very nuanced question. I don't know who that was, but fair play.
Yeah, pretty well. We haven't been able to turn it off yet, so I probably can't even really give you that information. So look, I think what we always try to approach any game that we play is that we take it system by system, and clearly we understand that there's going to players within that are going to play well. You can't stop everybody. It just seems that we haven't been able to stop him. So But he's one part of a bigger jigsaw puzzle that we've got to take care of. And like I said earlier before, whether that's their forward threats or whether that's their threats on the floor, we've got to ensure that that ball's coming at the speed we want rather than coming in too fast.
League-wise, Michael, the tackle, the Paul Curtis tackle, a few coaches expressed a bit of frustration with the penalty, the severity of it. Have you had to revisit that with your players and do you have a view on that severity?
Yeah, I don't really probably sit in the frustration of it. I think we all sort of understand that 3 weeks seems to be hefty, doesn't it? 1 week seems about right. And we understand also that the rules is almost a catch-all as well. So it's a bit hard to distinguish between getting off and getting 3 weeks, but we understand the principles in behind it and the reasons why, because obviously clearly we're trying to take that, those head knocks away and the chances for concussion to be able to happen, but we also got to acknowledge there's the accidents are going to happen, and in that particular circumstance, it looked like someone was carried forward in the tackle rather than intent to be able to have a double motion. So, look, that is for other people to be able to solve. What we've got to be able to do is just probably educate our players about what the current environment looks like, and we just got to make sure that in those circumstances, there's a better technique that's applied, and that's all we get to operate with. We've got to operate within the parameters we're being given, and it looks like the parameters are pretty strong.
Bevo said those parameters are outdated earlier today. Paul's suspension is probably right by the current grading system, but do you think that needs a bit of an overhaul?
I don't think outdated is the right where I think sits right current in the sweet spot of what's hugely topical within the industry, and we have to acknowledge that we're creating a movement here, and rules are not going to be perfect, and no matter how we write them, there will be imperfections in everything that we do. What we hope applies in a lot of circumstances is some common sense, and we need to be able to apply those. It seemed like one of those ones that if we could, we'd probably apply that common sense rule, but unfortunately it doesn't sit in the protocols.
Adelaide Oval, this is Kane Corn's heartland. What do you make of the Melbourne's ban?
I haven't followed, to be honest. That would mean I'd be following the media, and I don't. So I'll let you guys commentate on that one. I'll worry about my own team.
What's the
You asked about the Kane Corns media ban from North Melbourne. That's interesting.
election day tomorrow? Do any players forget this morning, and if someone had to remind them, or it could be any issue there? Do you think?
I do many things in my job. One thing I don't remind them is when to vote. So if they can get it kicked, that's all I tend to worry about. So I'll worry about how they turn up tomorrow.
You're not going to sub anyone off to get to a polling?
No, I hope not. But if I do, then they'll be copping their fine. That's what I'll be saying. So
Adelaide Oval is a bit of is it almost becoming a bit of a home away from home? I think you played here 3 times this year. Is it the familiarity of coming in with Gather Round and playing last year? Is that something that you can sort of utilise, the fact that you do?
This press conference is going in a direction that I just don't know.
I'm not understanding certainly the reasons why. Our history probably before our 3 games, our last 3 games, is that it wasn't very good. So we've sort of been able to break the back of that. Obviously, Adelaide presents another challenge itself, but I'm big on you don't play the venue. Every venue has its own constraints, and that includes having a home crowd. And an opposition crowd or opposition will always want to do well in front of their home crowd. So we've got a responsibility how we turn up. We've got to be a responsibility how we respond to that, and also a consistency that we need to be able to play. So, but we certainly don't play the venue. That is for sure. And we've got some confidence out of our last few appearances, but the reality is we haven't got the job done against Adelaide. So that's the next little challenge in front of us.
We're in South Australia, so let's talk about South Australians.
Right.
George Hewitt, he's still an underrated player in this competition. He's got to be right up there.
Yeah, not in the last couple of weeks. He hasn't been. He keeps showing up in all these really important moments. But look, his pre-season has been absolutely flawless. The way that he's gone about it, he's an absolute pro. The detail he puts into his game, I'm really pleased to see that he's got the reward. And fortunate our mids have largely spent a lot of time together, which hasn't been afforded in the previous seasons for one reason or another. But to have that consistency and that added responsibility that he's been able to bring the games, and I think when you watch him play, he really does feel like that this is his team and his midfield, and that's really showing. And
I think that's a really profound statement. Let me just play that again. He's talking about George Hewitt feeling like this is his team and his midfield.
I think when you watch him play, he really does feel like that this is his team and his midfield, and that's really showing. And the great thing about George, he keeps it really, really simple and just understands his job, and he just gets his job done, which makes him enormously reliable.
How big is that for not just Carew, but particularly Cripper, that it doesn't have to all rely on him or all rely on Walsh to have another big dog standing up, I guess?
Oh, that's been a fair comment, I think. What we've tried to do is, spread the forces a little bit. It's also not just about, so much the midfield. It's been about also our back line. It's also been about our forward line and how we share the load quite a fair bit. So one of the better things about Cripper's leadership is, being able to put other people forward and show belief in them and confidence in them to be able to get the job done. And so he's got more people joining him. And Chera's had a good patch of form. Hewitt as well. Walshy's hit his straps in the last couple of weeks. TDK, he's probably been spoken about for quite a period of time now. So we feel like we are spreading that load. So it doesn't feel like it all sits on the captain's shoulders, but it will take everyone. I mean, Adelaide's shown they're a very good side. Showing a very good side here, so it's going to take everyone to get this job done.
Well, there you go. What are your thoughts on that? There's just such a clear difference in the press conferences from post-game Collingwood till now. Bossy's talking like he's clear in his vision in a way he certainly wasn't early on. He even knew the first few games would be crap. Well, this reminds me of the open training session prior to the season starting, and he made the comment to the fans, unfortunately, we won't win every game. And there's always criticism around why can't we just get direct, honest communication? And when you actually think about it, he was being as humble and honest as he could have been, because clearly we look back now. I mean, there were things happening with Elijah, there were things happening with Harry. Walshy was still finding his fitness, Charlie was still finding his fitness. So it was almost as if we were being told to brace ourselves for a few losses early in the year. We just didn't want to listen. Perfect description of what Hewitt does. Maz, hello. Credit to Vossi and Cripper for giving the boys the confidence to stand up and take ownership. Wow, D. It's called leadership by action. I think that's in reference to George. Hello, Juddy Sports. Is that me in your profile photo? Tez, we've gone from 4 quarters. Now, can we make it 4 wins in a row like you asked for? Very simple, mate. Very simple. He's absolutely right about George. He's a man possessed. Tom, make sure you all vote today. Does anyone remember the day 1999 when Steve Bracks won? No, I don't remember the day 1999 when Steve Bracks won. But yeah, make sure you all vote. Get it all done. I definitely thought it was odd and thought it was a sly comment on some internal strife. Yep. It makes a lot more sense now. Second. We just need to be good without the ball. Footy is a weird game. It's the 4 quarters comment screenshot. Okay. Very good. Prelim. Oh, that was the prelim. Oh, okay. I understand. That was also election day. Okay. Well, there's a nice omen. Big day today. Guys, go Blues. Hello, Mert, Sea Salt, Rocco. Kuda won that day. What is the Carlton symbol behind you on? Is it one of a kind type thing? I want one for my office. Yeah, it was actually a commissioned piece. It's a rug. It's massive. It's heavy. And and it belonged to the Silvanis. It was on the floor of Ben's bedroom. So when they moved out of their place, they were going to throw it out. And Ben thought it would be a nice addition to the studio, and so did I. I think it's perfect. It's got the old mens sana in corpore sano sound mind and a sound body on there as well. So yeah, one day when I move out of this place, I will give it away, I think. I don't know if someone would, I mean, it's good for like a garage floor. I mean, you do whatever you want with it, but if it's got enough interest, then I'll give it away eventually. It's going to take a long time though. Slobbo, good to see you. Danny Girl. It makes an interesting bookend to that wild chaos scene among the coaches you witnessed a few games ago. True. Vote Abby. Yeah, special piece. Yeah. I was very lucky. They also gave me, that's also part of the items I'm giving away. So this was Steve's 1999 tracksuit. You all know that this is the next week's giveaway. We're going to do it at the end of the team show. I'm going to spin the wheel. So if you want to enter, you can get a ticket for an entry in the live chat, or you can just become a member and you get automatic entry to every single giveaway. So get around it. I've also updated, finally, let me show you. Finally updated the website, blueabroad.com.au. And I've got a membership page. Could you believe it? We got there. So this is where, I mean, I've always put the direct link to buy the membership, but if you want a landing page that tells you what you get with membership and the video explaining membership, it's there. Has Joe worn it? I don't know. I have no idea. Ben's room as a kid could have sauce DNA over it. Clone another sauce. Yeah, true. There's definitely sauce DNA in that rug. Years on the bedroom floor of a teenage footballer. I hope you had the hazmat team have a look at it first. True. On paper, we should win this game. I think Harry and Charlie should be licking their lips, looking on butts and that flop marking. Well, these are the key outs for the Crows. I mean, I know that Carlton have a few key outs. Let me get this up again. The Crows have some important players not playing today, particularly in their back line. So Mitch Hinge has been suspended. He's been a real important force for them, driving the ball off halfback this year. They've brought in Brodie Smith. I think this might be his first game for the season, potentially. So Mitch Hinge is out and Nick Murray's still not playing. So in their back line, they've got some matchups that wouldn't normally be there on the players that are playing on Harry and Charlie today. By the same token, we're missing Jack Silvani, but I mean, we've still got some solid pieces there. I mean, Wiedering's the best defender that we have available. They don't have their best defender available. That's Nick Murray. So both teams are missing a few. Matt Crouch comes out. He got injured. Nick Murray, as we saw, Mitch Hinge. So there's a bit on either way, on either end. Are they different? Or is it just how we read it, whether we are winning or losing? For me, they haven't really changed at all. Are you talking about the press conferences? I agree. I think to Vossi's credit, he's been pretty consistent in the way he has spoken. If anything, I think he speaks with more clarity now than what he was. And just more of an assuredness of what they're doing. The rug is glowing a little fluorescent blue. Yeah, I got a little trick. See this thing here? I've got a little blue light. So when I shine it on there, comes out there. See? Wait, let me do it now that there's a bigger screen. So I sit in front of this. And then that just gives it a little different touch. G'day, John. I reckon a few Crows could have a laid out with Foggle, Thilthorpe, Burgess, emergency. Good call. They might be playing a little game with Thilthorpe. He had a fractured finger. If footy was a feeling, I think we win today. Hello, Bugs Bell. You feeling good about playing Adelaide in Adelaide today? I never really feel good about Adelaide in Adelaide. But I also don't. I also think we have matured and we are a far different side and system from the last time we played Adelaide over there, which was gather round 2023, early in the season. From memory, it was the Thursday night game. Last year we played them at Marvel. Still lost. Yeah. Equality, the more I think about it, the more I think Hinge's suspension is a bit harsh. Big fine because he had a duty of care not to smack someone in the face, but he really did mean to fend off. Interesting. If we win today, we can be 6th at the end of the round. Massive game today. Can we? Is that how? Is it too early to do a predictor? It's never too early to do a predictor, guys. How do I do it? Predictor. All right, let's do a little predictor. Let's play along. I'm tipping. Look at the odds, man. The odds are everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Yeah, hide this shit. Fuck off. Western Bulldogs, I'm tipping. Let's just say, who knows? The Blues. I've tipped Collingwood. By the way, as you can, it doesn't show. I tipped the Bombers and I tipped St Kilda last night. We'll say the D's. So, who have you guys got? Sydney or the Giants? I think I tipped the Giants in this one. I'll tip the Hawks at the G. I'll tip the Lions. Wait, so if Sydney win, we go to 6th. If the Giants win, we can be 7th. That's kind of the situation. What could happen? And then, I don't know why, I don't know how, but Freo back at home, they'll be smashed in the media this week. I think they'll beat Collingwood. I don't know why, I don't know how. And then we get to this, and this just needs to be a big win. All right, I'm getting too carried away. Let's just relax a bit. Let's just calm down. Floyd, you get the same feeling before every game, excitement and a belief that we'll win. Yeah. Link to join. Ooh. Link to join the show. Before I leave today, I'll also put the link for the fan cams in the chat so you guys can save it beforehand. Kylie, Carlton is all about breaking old hoodoos. Adelaide Oval not a factor. Yeah. 6th depends on if we score a lot more than Adelaide and on the outcome of the Giants game. Yeah. Crows lost the Freo side on display last night. Yep, it's at Marvel, but they were horrendous. Yeah, I was stunned. I didn't watch the game. I was at Ari's 21st last night, but we were following the scores. What happened? Like, how does Fremantle not score more? I don't really understand. I need Liv to help me with the predictor. I do. She's still on top. Yeah, Adam. I need to calm down, mate. I get sucked in so quickly. Hilarious. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just staying on today. It's all about today. It will be a scrappy game. We need to control possession as much as possible and reduce their forward supply. They got hit by a Ross ball. You know what? I actually want to watch. I want to see what Matthew Nicks had to say. And if there's anything in his press conference around Philthorpe. The lead is not off just yet. Fremantle were late to every contest, couldn't read a little girl's softball pitch. Fremantle was shocking. It annoys me that they're above us in the ladder now. We were never that bad. Cameron, you caught the flu at the Geelong game and you've been bedridden for 5 days ever since. Good to see you're back on track, mate. As Damien says, Ross read them like a book and had that boot on their necks early on. Baz, we were worse than Fremantle. We lost to Richmond. That's true. I want to see what Mr. Nicks had to say.
It's one of those things that Matty's worked his way through for the latter part of his career. And it's one that he grinds at times, and we're in that at the moment. Matty's a team player, so he's always thinking about what does he do for the team. And at the moment, he doesn't feel like he's able to get his game to the level that we saw in round 1 and 2, where he's instrumental in what we were doing. So we've sat down over a few weeks now and just talked through what does this look like? And in the end, it's a joint decision around a block of work's needed for him, as in some time off. And he'll look at what he can do to try and then help the hip.
I think this is in relation to Matt Crouch.
Hopefully we're able to perform as a team without him, and then him come back later in the year. Maybe a month, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Come back and give us what he knows he can give to the team, which when he's at 100%, he's a
I think that's a really interesting comment. Wow.
in this comp.
So that's like an indefinite period at this stage. You don't want to put a timeline.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're looking at a month, 4, maybe 6, but not. It's not definite because it'll be depending on how he goes and how he recovers, and but we'd like to think no more than that. Again, we just don't know.
So rest rather than any surgery or anything like that.
Yeah, no surgery, no treatment, and they want to play, so that's a positive. But we'll miss guys. We miss these guys when they go missing. It changes our connection and cohesion that we've had. But the guys that are playing underneath have played some great footy. Not so much on the weekend. It wasn't our best game in the SNFL. But sometimes that's that little reality check you need every now and then to get you back on track. So we've got some guys ready to step up, guys that have already had a little look at it this year. We'll train today. We'll train hard, and we'll make some selections off the back of that session. Butsy?
You guys thought that our press conference is about, I cannot hear that question at all.
Butsy's name's definitely right up there. He's played some really solid footy and was probably our number one ruckman for a number of years there. And some will be saying, well, where's he gone? Well, he had some issues through the pre-season. He's worked his way back through that. Others have taken their opportunity, but he's been ready right throughout. So if we need to call upon him this week, which we probably will, he's ready to go.
Certainly not as bad as last year, Matty, so far, but you've copped some pretty big injuries to key players. What have you learned from that? What can you do better this year without those players at the side?
Good question. Yeah, and we look at that a lot. How are we getting these injuries? There are some that you can't avoid. I mean, I'm not going to tell Josh Rochelle to not go back into a pack, and Josh breaks his ribs. So there are contact injuries that happen in the game, and I think we talked through that earlier in the year, and I mentioned they're going to come. The injuries will come. It's where they come and how they come. So Nick Murray's, an interesting one for us. It's one we've got to work through. He's such a powerful young man, and early in his career, we want to make the right decisions around that. So there's some things that we're going to look back on at how we train and how we go about it. But at the moment, we'll keep pushing forward. We believe we've got to train at a level to play at a level.
I don't mean just how they occur, though, but as a group now, how you move. I know you have the next man up mentality and that sort of thing. But through those difficult times last year, you've learned how the group can perform better without those key players.
Is there a little bit of confidence coming to you guys because of the cohesion comment in their backline?
I think it's more about belief in our group, and the depth of our group is more. It's not so much learning from what we're doing. It's our guys have spent another 12 months of playing footy. And so, if we bring in I'll try to think of a name, but if we bring in a Sam Barry, for example, we know Sam Barry's 12 months more ready than he was, the year prior. He's played a lot more footy. I'd say he's playing some of his best footy at the moment and not in the team. I talk about a Lockie Murphy who, Murph's probably playing his best footy of his career at the moment, can't get a game. So we back in our list and our squad that we're a lot stronger than we've been in the past. And when you do have these injuries, which it's inevitable, you have injuries. Every club has them. It's just a matter of how many and when you get them in the year. We're confident that we're going to be able to perform still at a high level. We know it's going to affect us slightly, but can we keep our game at the level we need to get wins? Yeah, Darcy's moving really well, which is great. A great sign for us. And we missed his goal kicking on the weekend. There's no doubt, when he gets his opportunity. So hopefully, again, all the touch wood and all that, get through training. For Darcy, we'll be confident that he's going to be okay. And Riley, we're pretty confident with as well. He won't train today. There's obviously a fair bit that's going on with his finger, but he's, we're in a way we're pleased with the result, considering what it could have been.
That's an interesting one on Phil Thorpe.
That he was able to come on, play the game out. He's a pretty tough young lad, and I think good luck stopping him playing this week.
Finger, is that something you sort of lead to be testing pain levels for Riley on game day? Or?
Yeah, well, we won't. We just won't push it today to add more impact onto the footies. We'll leave that to a captain's run for him to touch a few footies there and then be confident he'll be right to go.
Riley Philthorpe's one of his greatest attributes is his marking ability. So even if he does play, you would think the mitts won't be as sticky as what they have been. Oh, what's going on here? Mate, you are kidding. You're fucking joking me here.
We got to be better in that if we want to play finals footy. So it's always going to be one that's a work on for us. What is it we're not quite getting right? There's also the understanding too of how tough it is to win on the road when you travel to Perth to play Fremantle and when you travel to the Gold Coast to play the Gold Coast. Well, I'm not sure many are writing that down and just saying that this is a win for the away team. They're tough road trips, but we acknowledge we've got to be better on the road. We've got to pinch some of those games or win those games well to get where we want.
Have you identified? Have you actually identified what?
Yeah, from the weekend we did pretty quickly, and it's not really around our travel. We could go back and look at our game in Melbourne earlier in the year. Well, we're doing the same thing on our trips away. We continue to tweak small things, but whether you're getting your whole group and the coach, we got some guys we know will embrace that role if given it. James Peatling's one who's coming, and that's probably where he showed some of his best footy before he got his opportunity through the mid. So we know we've got him. Ben Keys has been one that is very disciplined and likes those challenges. So we have options. It's what we hope more often than not is we don't have to go there. Know where you're leaning. Brayshaw obviously had a game.
I just want to see what they're talking about.
Sometimes it's hard to stop them once they're going. But we'll continue to look through that. We got some guys we've gone to a lot. To their
Sorry, I just want to find the question.
credit that were well and truly on. And I think, even I think their whole group and the coach at Freo will be really pleased with the way they played their footy.
Tag has changed at all this season. It seems a lot of the successful clubs are employing taggers, but it's not been
I think the question's around a tagger and having a tagger.
It's not my thinking, no. It's something we just haven't gone to a lot. Where I was looking through it about, I think I mentioned it before about, coolers, taggers, attention on players that are hot. I know where you're leaning. Brayshaw obviously had a game. Sometimes it's hard to stop them once they're going. But we'll continue to look through that. We got some guys we know will embrace that role if given it. James Peatling's one who's coming, and that's probably where he showed some of his best footy before he got his opportunity through the mid. So we know we've got him. Ben Keys has been one that is very disciplined and
I'd be stunned if they have Ben Keys as a tagger today.
likes those challenges. So we have options, positions in their careers. We'll have a look at all those guys that have been sort of working through that area, training with our backs, doing all their stuff.
Where you play Sid this week, you had the luxury of giving it a go
Yeah.
at both levels.
Sid Draper.
And work on areas we know are going to improve him and make us a better team. So actually got things in place to work on that, but it was really disappointing that we didn't execute that. And that comes back to what I mentioned earlier. Our game wasn't at the level it needed to be at, and our opposition's was. And so they punished us, and it happened to be right at the end of a quarter, which, maybe it's a different result if we're able to just hang on in the first and third quarters.
Is that the ultra thing as much as anything?
No, it's structural. Now, there's a mental component to it. Like, why is our structure and method not at the level it needs to be at that point? And maybe it's a concentration thing. Yeah.
Last couple of guys, was it a little bit of one step forward against the Giants, two steps back in Freo, and then taking it forward? How do you get that consistency against the Blues and then going forward now?
Question is, how do you get the consistency against the Blues?
I wouldn't say we're worse off for Freo than we were for what we gained against the Giants. I think we're confident that we've still got a strong game, that our trend this year has been playing some really high-level footy. We got beat by 3 goals in the end, I think that was a little bit misleading. We were convincingly beaten by Freo, but we know the area we have to be better at. So we're as confident as we were going into the Giants. Unfortunately, we just keep getting hard matchups because there isn't an easy one in our game. The AFL have done that too well.
That's a really interesting comment.
Put some pressure on Rob.
We have been right throughout. It's why, we probably saw Rob off for one game. And I think the pressure that Lockie had put on and was putting on every week, be it we have some buys in the SNFL where he can't, but right throughout pre-season, he was taking it to Rob. They were having a great battle. So I think it's making Rob better, and hopefully making Rob, hungrier each week to know that.
All right, I've heard what I need to hear. Thoughts? Do you gain anything from that? Is that insightful to you in any way? One fist to the hand when going for the mark will put him out of the game and end up missing more games. J-Bag is 170 watching and 34 likes. Hopefully that's not our efficiency today. True, if you are on YouTube and you are watching, while you're watching, just tap the like button. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you hit the bell icon, you get notifications when a stream is live. Happy days. Now we know they will tag Walsh hard. Potentially. Keys has done that before. He's a very dirty player when required. He's for sure locked down on a mid and or an attacking defender on occasion. He plays dirty like the rest of them. Rocco, it's an insult that we're underdogs against this mob. Faz, you copped a please explain for showing the tribunal video in class, passed it off as a persuasive writing prompt, and got the all clear. Happy days. That's brilliant. Wait, were you watching for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour? Like how long was this part of the entire class? funny. He's confident. Was that AFL made our fixture hard or AFL have made it level? Yeah, I didn't know where he was going with that comment. He was almost starting to talk about how hard the fixture was and then saying how even the competition was, but then went back to how hard the fixture was for them. Stacey, you are more confident. Walsh is in form to run a tagger ragged. Yeah. See you, Maz. You got a phone date with your son. Enjoy. You had it on for about 30 minutes before recess. Love it. Good morning to you, David. Great to have you here, my friend. All right, what I'm going to do is, before I finish up, I'm going to put the link to the fan cams later on for those of you who want to join. Fan cams. So this will be the link to join the fan cams later on with me. Save it if you want to jump on. That'll be there. I think there's a few of you watching on Facebook as well. I'll put it for you as well. Fan cams link. Have I seen the Hoops crew? Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're good lads. There was this naked guy slagging his own team, Geelong, and us. Hilarious stuff. No, I didn't see that. I saw a man dressed as a cat telling a camera, like looking down the barrel of the camera, telling the world that Jane Bund was the reason why the Cats lost last week. Also, I've got a doozy ready if we beat the Crows. I saw yet again another opposition fan having a crack at the Blues, making accusations that the Blues fans were the ones who brought the guns into the stadium a few weeks ago when actually it was Collingwood supporters. So I will be ready. Speak of the devil, you did say last weekend, you did say that. I thought you were trying to get me sucked in, mate. But I appreciate you. I guess you were being, you were being honest. I wish I had the patience of you to not melt down after 0-4, but it's a learned skill. Andrew Walker rang me to renew my membership in the middle of my year 8 English class, popped him on speaker, and he spoke to my students and told them to work hard for me. That's brilliant. Can confirm there was a semi-naked man standing out by his clothes yelling at the Cats. Scotty Tompkins, love the Hoops crew. I love the Hoops crew. Wait, where can we find? Where was this? Can we watch it, or was he like naked to the point where I can't put it on stream? Actually, it's on the Hoops crew fan camp. Actually, you know what? Let's move on. Let's not look at the past. Let's move on. Let's look at today. To be fair, I'll look at it after this stream ends. He had nipples out, but no proper nudity. It was on their fan cams. Okay. I was on their fan cams with the naked bloke. He's a star. Anyway, that is funny. We've had some. What would you say? What would you say for those of you who have watched for years? What would you say is the most? What would you say is the funniest moment ever on the fan cams for us? Like the funniest or just most outrageous moment on the fan cams? Oh. You know, after we lost to Collingwood and Tolls came on and like his cat or his dog was like scratching the floor. I was crying laughter. Thank you very much, Ra. Adelaide expecting 21 degrees, so good weather. Mark, yeah. Oh, when Mark brought on his medals, and he's like, when are these boys going to realize that they're either going to have this or they're going to have nothing? Yep. Joe cooking the steak. Yeah, steak on the fan cams. Mark, pick your moment, really? Yeah. Hello, Pommy. The 6-month block when the kids threaten you to get their todger out, you constantly being on edge. Yeah. Yeah, they were threatening me in the DMs on Instagram as well. It's raining. Oh, it's raining goals at Adelaide Oval. Yeah, Adelaide haven't scored well the last few weeks. Undertaker, Mark, Blood. Oh, Paul's voice last week. You know, we saved SEN from that going to air last week because no one knew. They didn't know that someone had played with the audio. And had he not come on the fan cams and we found it out, oh man, that was hilarious. What are the doubters going to say when we smash the Crows? I don't know. Let's do it first. Mark against Adelaide 2020. Mark against Adelaide 2020. Why every single fucking time? Yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember that now. Steak on the fan cams. Most funny moment on the fan cams. Mark grabbed his Carlton goose. That might have been Adelaide 2020. It might have been like, you see this? Punches it. Still receiving therapy for that 1-point loss. Yeah. Rocco saying killed a couple of years ago. Before to take the mark. And then, yeah, kick the goal. Yeah. Rocco in his kitchen before they built the studio is peak. The whole run to the 2023 prelim was elite. Yeah, it was. It was. Old mate in his garage in his Carlton Woody in bed drinking a can and shouting, about to have a sleep before night shift. Yeah. When Pommy broke his camera. Oh, that was this year. No? Wait. That was Hawthorn. Is anyone going to take any fucking accountability? Yeah. Pommy doing performance art and pounding his desk so hard that he knocked his camera out. Mrs. Pom still ain't forgiven him for that. Came across the French version of fan cams last night. Gee, that was a sad, sorry lot. So we found out someone had played with the audio settings and the voice settings in the SEN studios, but they obviously had no idea. So when Paul came on last night, his voice was, you know, when you watch movies and they make the voice deep, so like the killer or the bad guy or the villain makes a phone call to like the family of the hostage. It's like, if you don't like give us X amount or transfer the money within 24 hours, your child's dead. It was like that. It was so funny. Funniest moment a few weeks ago. Young blokes in the dunny and was cutting out before we knew while they were there. Yeah. Oh, the young lads in the bathroom at school. Yeah, there was a period of time, early fan cams, these kids kept trying to like flash their dicks out on screen. It was wild. Most memorable moment was when you said, I'm breaking up with the Blues. Yeah, contemplated it. But here I am again. Rocco's first appearance on the fan cams. Yeah. What about depressing? We'll get to depressing when we start losing again. Anyway, good times. French fan cams during 1940 was the best. 1 minute they wanted Germany out, the next minute they were all in. It's a very niche joke. What's my prediction for the Pies? Geelong. I think Collingwood win. That's what I think. And for some reason, I think they'll lose to Fremantle next week. I don't know why. Connor, yeah. So what do we got? 4:15 p.m. We will start the fan cams pretty much minutes after the final siren. I'll be live. All these great moments equals tonight's fan cams are going to be epic. Yep. Another one that gets me, when we had Shad Daddy moderating and people would use names from obscure dictators to let them through. Yeah. So on the bottom here, like below, when you call in to the fan cams and you're in the green room, I can see everyone that's there. We were in the studio with Shad years ago. I was home. Shad was doing maybe the producing, I think, and he was letting people in. I remember there was a guy in a ski mask who ended up being one of these kids who was trying to flash. And I could see him I know when someone's going to be a bit funny when I can see them below in the green room. I don't know if they know that I can see them, but this guy had a ski mask on the whole time. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, Shad's going to know for sure. Anyway, I can't remember exactly what he did when he came on, but we just knew, and I think his name was Darth Vader or something. So we've learned the hard way. Cameron, yeah, we did cover this. We have the best profile in the game, second to only Gold Coast this season. Well, yeah, but the numbers can be a bit misleading. If we do it again today, I think it's definitely moving in the right direction. It's saucy. Why doesn't Pommy come on first anymore? He used to be on first every time after a loss. So Pommy was on first last week. Mate, you can ask Pommy himself. He's here. No, I think that we had a conversation, and we've spoken about this on one of the shows as well. And just he prefers to not be so emotional after a loss and to be a great example for the kids, for his kids. And so, doesn't want to be the ranting guy. Wants to speak with a little bit more poise and control. And sometimes you got to remove yourself out of an environment that you're going to act in a certain way. And so, yeah, but Pommy's always welcome on first. I actually forced him to come on first last week after the win, just to make sure everything was aligned. They had great historical knowledge, to be fair, that they did. All right, guys, that's us. It's 12:08. It's round 8 incoming. We've got the Crows in about 4 hours from now. Speaking of Pommy, watch along on his channel, 4 p.m. We will tune into that if you want to do a watch along with him. Otherwise, see you at about 7:20-ish, 7:30 p.m. I'll start the fan cams pretty much after the final siren. And we'll go from there. Wait, before I go, final predictions. What's going to happen? What is your final prediction for today? I will say, I'm not confident. I'm really not confident. I do think Charlie's going to get rewarded from the footy gods today. And I do think Jesse Motlop's going to break through and play well today. Charlie for 4 or more. Jesse will kick a couple. I'm hoping it's one of those games that we had like last year against Port. Arm wrestle and then just pull away late. But I don't think we're going to get belted by the Crows. I think we can although they do have the ball movement to beat us. No, I think, I don't know. I'll let you guys predict. Carlton by 65, 15, 29. Blues hang on for a 10-point win. Crows by 16. Blues by 12. Crows by 25 for you, Ra. Will White kicks 4 in a 3-goal win. No negative vibes. No, there's not a single negative vibe here. Blues by 5 points. Blues by 10. Ben Keys is a beautiful human, very attractive and a solid footballer. Carlton by 15. 31. Charlie to have 7+. Harry with 6. Blues by 25. Blues by 4. Charlie 3. Harry 3. Dirds 3. Weeks in a row, mark of the week, and win by 3 goals. Don't mind it. Blues by 6. Want me to wear nothing but body paint in the watch along. We won't smash them. Would be good, but will be a close game. Hopefully our Carlton's way. Go Blues. I have a feeling it'll be reasonably close throughout, but I think they'll kick away late. Please, please, please prove me wrong. Come on, baggers. Keys is a thug. Blues by 2. Lose by 2 points. Blues by 21. There is a reality where we play awesome, but we still lose. I hope people keep that in mind before melting down. Evans for a late call-up. Kicks 3 goals. TDK best on ground. All right. See you on the other side. Much love.